And we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Play ball. Thank you. We have emergency exits at the back of the building and behind Councilor Foote. If there's a problem in the building, please do not use the elevator, use the stairs. If you need assistance, have one of the commissioners assist you. And I am going to silence my cell phone. Everyone else, please do the same. We'll start things off with introduction of commissioners, starting to my right with Christopher.
Christopher Morlock.
Cheryl Holbert.
Jay Hildreth.
Rick Metz.
Eileen Chabot.
Your mic isn't on. You gotta press the little button. That's okay. It's just a little press.
Yep, it's on.
Pamela Piero.
Linda Comrie.
Val Conley.
Elizabeth Carver, Land Manager.
And our council liaison, Charlie Foote.
Good evening.
I'm your chairman, Ricardo Bazanga. I'd like to welcome Linda Comrie. Comrie?
Yes.
Linda Comrie, our newest alternate, to my left. And we're going to have Pamela, would you sit for Bob Sproul tonight?
And do,
So you'll be a voting member?
okay.
Yeah. So you'll be counted in the voting, asked to vote on minutes and motions and stuff like that. Okay? All right, so that leads us to approval of minutes. Everyone should have got them. If you don't have them, they're in front of you. You do have to share, and if there's no necessary changes to the minutes, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, so we have a motion to approve the minutes on the floor and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. For correspondence, we have the report for Walmart, Apex. They do, I always comment on what a great job they do on their compliance requirements for the Walmart property annual maintenance report. I'll hand it to my left if anyone wants to look at it. Going to Eileen first. And that's all we have for correspondence. Chair's report's fairly brief. First and foremost, Beth is going to be working with Jay and Tammy to streamline the agenda process. I'm trying to get away from as much administrative work as I can as our commission hits high gear. I have a lot of commission business going on, and I'm trying to stay away from the paperwork as much as I can. So Beth has agreed to put together an SOP, work with Tammy and Jay to get that wrapped up. Our goal is to close business on Thursday, say, I'm thinking like noon, and get a draft agenda to me, and then the final agenda will go out, by the end of the day, Thursday? Is that our goal, Beth?
It can be.
Can be? Okay. All right, so we're gonna close our business to petitioners and like site plan reviews, guests on Thursday. That'll give everybody time to prepare, and then we need to get the agenda to Sheila before Friday, so we're gonna do it on Thursday. So Beth's gonna quarterback that for me, working with Jay and Tammy. On a couple other things we have coming up, the Ashley Drive conservation easement is going to be before us again. It looks a lot, I've got a couple of looks at it. I've been working with the developers and the town administrator on it. It looks a lot, I think, better to me. I hope it looks better to all the commissioners, but my goal is going to be to try to get it's a much much briefer packet now. I think it's a total of 10 or 12 pages total instead of multiple packets. But I'd like to get it to the commissioners for review prior to our March 2nd meeting. So when the folks come on March 2nd, we have our questions and comments prepared for them, just to try to eliminate them having to come, 2 more times.
What is this for again?
This is the Ashley Drive.
Oh, Ashley Drive.
Yeah, the easement that we.
So will we have a set of plans and everything to look at, or what is in the 12 pages?
So this is that conservation easement.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, so it's the conservation easement
It's the
document?
easement. Yeah, it's the
Okay.
document itself, the monitoring process, the funds that they're going to give us,
Okay.
who's going to be responsible for what. So I want to get eyes on that prior to them coming, so we can have our questions ready for them when they come. So then maybe if they come, we can offer comments and questions, and then they would come back one last time, maybe incorporating some of our suggestions in that document, just to get that moved along. Otherwise, they're going to have to come 2 more times, and they've already been here twice.
And this is a new document?
Completely
Different
new.
than the previous?
Very different.
I think to Eileen's point, have they changed the development plan?
No,
This is just the easement plan.
no, the development plan is, I think, been fully approved already. All of that has been approved, right? But this is the easement, us accepting the conservation easement on the property,
Okay.
and all of the stuff that goes along with that easement, the monitoring, who's responsible for what. There's a cash component where they're going to pay us a certain amount of money to do it. That's been modified. The responsibilities have been completely modified. Like I said, I think you'll like it. I know I like it a lot better than the first couple of looks. But Beth,
Yeah. How much time would you like the commissioners to have to look at it prior to our meeting? Like, do they have a deadline to get it to us, or?
I don't know. I mean, if it's not enough time, we're going to have them come back. It's our project, so we're going to dictate the timetable. Hopefully, we'll have it soon. It went back for just a minor tweaking the other day, and I think it was mostly just grammatical stuff that they had to tweak. So, Val, did you have a question?
Sorry.
No. Anything else on that? So hopefully because it's a big packet, I think.
I'd like a week.
Huh?
I'd like a week, at least.
Yeah,
not
at
so
least
much
a
a week.
week if it's 12
Yeah, I think we all need at least a week,
Yeah.
but I also think we should I'd like to get like a paper packet as opposed to getting a digital packet.
Yes, right.
So I think once we get closer, I'm going to have them drop off as many as we need here and figure out how we're going to get them distributed. Charlie, you're looking at me. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you guys get, like on the council, you want to be able to mark it up and all that stuff, right? So would people be able, let's say I got a dozen packets delivered to town hall, would people be able to come to town hall and pick them up?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah? Yes?
Yes.
All right, cool. All right, so we'll shoot for that. Once we have that, I'll have them spin up a bunch of them and have them maybe at the clerk's desk or something like that.
So you'll let us know when they're available, so we don't come down and find out they're
Exactly,
not
yeah.
available?
As soon as they're ready to be picked up, we'll do that. And like I said, Beth's question is a good one.
Yeah.
We're never going to be pressured into not doing our due diligence. So if we don't have enough time to
No,
see it,
we should.
we'll have them come
Be
back.
given enough time to do it.
Exactly. So that's that we're gonna hopefully take up at the March 2nd meeting. The other thing that we're gonna take up on March 2nd, which is exciting, is it's gonna be the presentation, as long as the council votes tomorrow to approve, which I'm pretty sure they will. We will be presenting Margie Ives with 2 citations, one from the town council, one from the Conservation Commission, naming the Gulf Road property, the Margie Ives Conservation Area. And we'll be awarding 2 documents, and we'll have a copy of the plaque that's going to be put at the trailhead for Margie. Mr. Metz is going to work with the Ives family to get Margie here, and any family members that she So that's exciting for next,
Yes, it is.
next meeting.
Mr. Chair, just,
Yes,
just
Mr. Foote.
clarification. So tomorrow is a public hearing on that, so if anybody wishes to speak to the matter, they're more than welcome to speak to it in favor or against, but that's how, so it is on our agenda as a public
And it's a
hearing.
public hearing?
Yep.
All right, so for the public, anybody that wants to speak in favor or in opposition to the Margee Ives Conservation Area at Gulf Road, the meeting is tomorrow in council chambers in this room. And I urge people to go there.
Is that at 7 o'clock?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Charlie, can you vote on that tomorrow, or does it have to go to the next meeting?
I think we're voting on it tomorrow.
I've forgotten the rules.
Yeah, I think some of them have multiple hearings, but I think we can.
That's
vote
a simple
tomorrow.
one.
Yeah, tomorrow we can vote on it. Pretty certain.
Awesome.
When Beth and I were, when we addressed the council a couple of weeks ago, we urged them to support that naming. So we did already speak to that. So that's exciting. Beth, I do not see the New Hampshire Association of Conservation Commissions here.
On the agenda? Oh,
Well,
you mean on,
In the
Did you
room.
hear from
presence.
Barbara
yes, right.
today? Did you talk
I
to-
did. I
Okay.
sent her the Zoom link that was sent to,
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
for your awareness, we do have an attendee. We have a couple of attendees attending remotely. We have a Barbara Richter. She's
okay.
actually now raising her hand. And we have a Sarah Callaghan.
Okay, so they're going to do their presentation virtually? Is that the plan?
Okay.
All right, I'll go ahead and let them promote them to panelists so they will have full access.
All right, so we're going to wait for Owen to cue that up, and it looks like we're going to have our presentation from Barbara Richter.
So will that appear on our screens?
Yeah, I think it'll appear here and on the big screen behind us. So whenever you're ready, Owen, we'll be ready for you.
Our attendees are now able to speak and have full access to the meeting.
Great. Well, thank you all for speaking with me today. I have been working with Beth on
Barbara, can I just interrupt you for a second?
Sure.
Thanks for coming. Could you just state your name and a little background on who you are and what you're doing before you get started?
Sure.
Thanks.
My name is Barbara Richter. I'm the Executive Director at the New Hampshire Association of Conservation Commissions. And I'm here today to speak with the Conservation Commission about the grant application that you have been awarded for the landscape scale management initiative that we are trying to promote promote this year. So I have been working with Beth on this, and so I hope she's given you a little background, but I'm happy to fill you in more as well, if not everybody on the commission is fully aware of our plans with the landscape scale conservation initiative.
yeah, Barbara, I think it would be great if you gave everybody just sort of an overview here now.
Sure, I'd be happy to do that.
Thank you.
So this is an initiative we received grant funds to work with 2 separate towns in New Hampshire to help them promote a feature property, one of their conservation properties, to better coordinate efforts of town-owned land with some of the surrounding private lands. We received funding from the Horn Family Foundation to establish this program to really help provide education and awareness to private landowners and neighboring conservation commissions to really, again, better promote sustainable land management in a coordinated effort. So your town has been chosen to work with us. We appreciate your application, and you had a lot of interesting work going on that we thought would be beneficial to get this project going. So this is the first year of this management initiative, and the idea is to really identify core areas in your community, specifically land conservation properties, that either have a unique management feature or something that you're planning to focus on for the future that would really benefit from some coordinated management across parcel boundaries. So the idea is to create 1 or 2 trainings at your conservation property, and the idea was to have your Conservation Commission help promote this program and reach out to abutting landowners and encourage others to kind of follow in your example of good stewardship. So the promotion would include, working with other abutting landowners, but also some of the abutting town conservation commissions. And again, this would really be designed to educate commission members on the benefits of having a larger scale land management, and to help train and educate your landowners and abutters on how to work this. We're hoping to really promote the benefits of working beyond your property boundaries, to showcase good stewardship, to also seek some feedback from your community and what's of interest to them as well. And really to, again, kind of provide those examples of good stewardship, whether it's watershed protection, wildlife corridors connection. So today I'd like to really look at some of your properties and decide, what some of those features are, what you'd like to highlight that you're really proud of in those land areas, and maybe think about some of the topics that we'll then want to focus on for an education and training program for the spring.
Yeah, so basically we get to discuss and decide, what of our initiatives we want to be part of this initiative that they're doing. Some of the things that we have kicked around as a possibility, we have the Community Wildfire Protection Plan, right? So that really lends itself well to this kind of initiative, right? Because wildfire does not care about your property borders. I mean, nor do, any of the things that Barbara mentioned, right? But that's something that we've already got in the works. We also mentioned doing a BioBlitz where we're cataloging different species and trying to get a natural resources index for our town as a whole. So that's a possibility. And we're open to, whatever the pleasure of the commission is as far as what we want to focus on for this initiative.
Beth. I'm like speaking to a speaker. You're right here. Would the idea of I know it was kind of mentioned with the thought after the report on the annex was done, but using it as a wetlands kind of educational piece, with boardwalks and that kind of thing. Was that something that would apply to this, or we would be interested in coordinating with the NHACC? Good.
I'm just presenting it right after this section, and I definitely think it's something we want to study and learn about wetlands. And a focus for education of the Derry public is definitely was recommended. Making it a safe access for the public into those lands, was the other thing we were going to discuss. It's a mowed down. It looks like a mowed down field right now, and it's been basically beat up by man, and there is no, the wildlife is pretty much intact, but there's been some misuse of this land, and I think I will present later the story. The story of our approach to this is an education in itself.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I guess that also raises another point. I know we're here to kind of create discussion and stuff, but do we have time? Because I feel like we have a lot of really nice properties, and we just kind of started hitting the ground running with a lot of different things. We have a lot of things theoretical, kind of? Do we have time to think about this?
Yeah, Barbara, give me a timeline on when you need
Right.
us to
So-
identify a project and a property.
Right. And so I'm also happy, it sounds like maybe there wasn't a lot of background presented to the commission, and
No.
I'm sorry, I had thought we would have had more of this information shared with the commission. So I'm happy to share some more details about the program, and we do have some time. I would like to see these programs presented in April or May, so we don't have too much time.
Right.
Do you have, so you're meeting once a month?
Twice a month,
Is that-
once this month,
Twice a month?
because our second meeting falls on a holiday.
Okay. So I can certainly.
Can I just jump in for a second? So, just to get to some concrete dates, and I'm guilty of this. First off, is there an opportunity to get a list of examples of projects that are that fall into the criteria that you're looking for? Like, could you supply us with some examples of that? And secondly, to get to your April-May presentation date, what is our date to present you with a property and an idea?
So I would like to see, let me look at my, I think if I could attend maybe one of the next commission meetings, that would be helpful. So I would like to have a pretty concrete project selection or property selection, and a general focus, whether it's wetlands, wildlife diversity. You can look at even natural invasive species control. There's quite a few different topics that you can look at, but I'm happy to share some of those ideas with you. But I think whatever you're most excited about and kind of most proud of. So I would like to see this by like in a month, by mid-March, a good solid discussion and selection of where you think this would be the best, where would be best place to host a program like this. And I think that would then get us going towards that April or May.
So we have a meeting on the 2nd, we have a meeting on the 16th, and then in April we have a meeting on, are we going to meet on, would we meet on April 6th? It's Easter Monday. I don't even know if that's really a holiday. Is that really a holiday?
So if I may just interject, sorry. My apologies for Barbara misunderstanding, I think, what this meeting was supposed to be. My understanding was that at this meeting, you were going to be here to discuss with us, and we would decide at this meeting what maybe we want to focus on, or at least walk away from this meeting with a general direction, right, that maybe we can refine more as we go. So I just want to make sure that we can make use of the time that we have here with Barbara on the agenda to, we can still have some discussion about what we want.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get to a kind of a drop dead date, if you would.
Sure.
So March.
I think March 16th would be a drop dead
Okay,
date for
right.
me.
So that's our target date. March 16th, we have to have an identified property and an identified process, right?
So just one property? Is that what we're talking about? Just one property?
Yeah. So we are where you would like to host an outreach program, and Steve Roberge, the state forester, is also participating in this program, as well as Sarah Callahan is viewing tonight just to learn a little bit more about it. But we would be able to then kind of find those experts that you would like to, that can then present the program. So we'll be providing the actual, content of the program with your feedback and guidance. So that's kind of where we come in. UNH Extension and NHACC are partnering on this program to really make the program, the outreach program, happen. So don't feel like you've got to, have everything in order, but we definitely need, those ideas that you have, whether it's wetlands, your fire protection management, or any of those really unique management areas that you'd like to share with other communities.
Yes, I think we're along
Can I
the way,
introduce
so.
myself really quick?
Hello. Please just let us know who you are, please. Thanks.
Yeah, hello. I'm Sarah Callahan. I am the Community Conservation Field Specialist based out of Rockingham County, and it's really nice to meet you all. I've met with several conservation commissions throughout Rockingham County, and this was one that I had not yet touched base with. I've been in this role for just over a year and replaced Emma Tutine. And I don't know if you had the opportunity to work with her at all when she was at the Rockingham County office. So if you know what she did in her role, that's the kind of the role that I'm fulfilling now. And I was curious because in my past experience of working in land conservation and stewardship, I did some work with the Northwood Area Land Management Collaborative, and their focus was this general approach. It was looking at this landscape scale management and getting private landowners and then the state of New Hampshire and UNH all together at the same table and kind of having discussions about how they can engage their community and coordinate their stewardship of their properties. So that's my brief sort of introduction. What I would like you to think about is it sounds like there's a trails project potentially that was impacting wetlands that you seem excited about, but are there any recent projects that you have done on your conservation lands that you're particularly proud of, that you want to highlight to your community?
I like. I'll speak as a member, not as a chair. What piqued my interest is having a natural resource index. I think that's something that the town deserves. My first thoughts are probably Coal Marsh, because I think the diversity there would probably be greater than most of our other properties. So I'm leaning that way. I feel like the CWPP is a little complex, Beth. A lot of players in that process. Sure. I think to add another person to that group would be, I just don't think that's a perfect fit. Mm-hmm. So that's my initial thoughts. I think we need to take it up as an advisement, under advisement. I think we probably need to assign it to a subcommittee. I'm not sure which one. And then put it on the agenda for the 2nd. With a commitment date of the 16th. So
Can we all kind of give our ideas, though?
I do. Yeah, I think if
it's important. I think.
Yeah, I think if a subcommittee chair, unless Beth, you want to take it up. Do you think you should take it up? Poll the commissioners. We're going to have to do this outside of a meeting, because we're just not going to have time in a meeting to do it unless we had a workshop. And I don't see it I don't see that possibility in our thing. So just to think it through, and ladies, please bear with me as we kind of ladies that are not here, as we hash this out. So I envision Beth reaching out to the commissioners for ideas, putting together a list of ideas, and then have those ideas present for our March 2nd meeting, where we look at those ideas, take them under advisement, and vote for one or however many we're allowed to vote for. And then that would allow us to package it up for the meeting on the 16th. How does that sound?
Good.
Sound good? Everyone like that?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Our virtual attendees, how does that sound?
I think that makes a lot of sense. I think if it would be great for me to kind of be part of that process, though. So if you could, or if Beth could forward me the list of ideas as well, and I could also provide I'll be sending you some examples and a little more information on the program, but
Yeah, so Beth can use what you send us. Beth will incorporate in her solicitation to the commissioners for ideas.
right. And then if you could get me that list prior to the March 2nd meeting, and I'd like to attend the March 2nd meeting if that's all right with you, or a subcommittee, whichever you prefer, so that we can then discuss kind of those final ideas. And I could also maybe help hash out some of those ideas in the background. If you're thinking of wildlife diversity, I could provide a little more background on what that might look like. So then that, we'd be closer to an idea by that March 2nd program, March 2nd meeting. And then, as you said, that would then
Okay,
get
so
us to the final by the 16th.
let's get Barbara on our agenda for March 2nd as a presenter.
And I'll try to attend in person. I unfortunately have had a knee injury, so I was not able to travel tonight.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. All right, anything else on this? Anyone? I think we got a good plan.
Yeah.
Yep. Barbara, anything else from you?
Yeah, and then if you are describing the wetland, it sounds like you might be doing a wetland restoration.
No, we have
If I
a
can-
property that we've had for a long time. We had an assessment done on it, a natural resource assessment, and we're trying to think about what if anything we're gonna do with it. So
Okay.
we have a commissioner who's gonna present some ideas on that. We're kind of in its infancy right now on what we're gonna do with it.
I just brought it up as
Okay,
a
so-
specific, generating.
Yeah, no, I like it. Yeah, yeah.
So I might stay online to just listen to that, and then that may also inspire some ideas.
That sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we are gonna, anything else on that before we move into Jay's presentation on the annex? Okay, so Jay, you did hand out a environmental report at the last meeting. I don't know if everyone brought it. I have mine. Looks like Ricky has his.
I have 2 copies of my report if you need it.
I can slide mine that way if you want, and I can share with Rick.
Was it the one that's at the back of the packet from the assessment from last meeting?
have it?
Do you have one?
We'll split it.
You have
We're
one?
sharing.
That's his
Okay,
personal.
cool. So there's
Yeah.
another one here.
Oh, okay.
One more.
Thank you.
Okay, Jay. you're
Okay.
up. Take it away.
All right. This property, we're calling the Broadview Annex, and it's part of our Broadview property. It's on the other side of Young Road, and it was brought to our attention when the DPW, the Derry DPW, I guess, made a deal. They'd cut down this property in exchange for their ability to dump the leaves from the cemetery on the southern border of the property. So this is a 3.4 acre property, and we really wanted to know what to do with it, and it seemed to be complex because it was very wet during much of the season, and Commissioner Rick decided that we should have an assessment done on this property. And so in the fall of 2025, Norman Dew Associates did a field visit on our request to do an assessment for the environmental assessment. So I just highlighted the report that came with many charts and graphs and sections of discussion. There's one thing, though, I want, as you're reviewing this, that I want to do is share the figure 8, because it didn't print well. So I'm going to just have this come up and down the aisle so you can study the property. So these were the findings. I just highlighted.
This one, is that this one?
Yes, yes.
You guys have that?
It's really important. You won't as much.
Okay.
The printed one, I got really weird results with my printer. So the colors are strange. So if you can refer to the original report, it would be great. So anyhow, what I did was take the parts of the report, write them down in the first 4 pages, then discuss them in the end. I just wanted to highlight briefly, and this could be for your further study, what was laid out by the engineer. Basically, he did a map. He did a desktop and a field survey. Desktop meaning all the various maps of the agencies that are involved with assessing a property in the state of New Hampshire, and also federal, at a federal level too. So I highlighted the things that I want to really bring to note, and you can study the rest later. So one thing that I noted is that there is an area to the south that's an undeveloped land. It's between a residence and the Derry Fire Department, and I don't know much about that, and so I highlighted it for further questioning and probing, perhaps as a group or later on. There was a documentation of the wildlife that was in this 3.4 acre property. However, the fact was that just before the field survey, the DPW came down and yet again cut down this whole field, quote unquote field. So it made it a little difficult. However, the engineer was very good at finding evidence of wildlife. And basically, there is wildlife in this area, but there is nothing noted as it's not a ranked tier habitat. But there is certainly a potential to develop and protect the wildlife in this property. We could start by perhaps not cutting it down anymore. So the various...
So Jay, just so everyone understands the cutting down process, the original clearing, I think, was very necessary because there was an abundance of invasives in that property. It was completely overgrown, and I don't think it was useful. So I think that initial clearing was warranted.
Yeah.
I don't think that the mowing, and I think we share some responsibility. DPW just decided to mow it. We didn't tell them not to mow it, but they thought they were doing us a service. So it was an honest mistake. So we will definitely not be mowing it anymore. But the original clearing, I think, was important.
And again, this certainly is an education in itself of how we would approach properties in the future. We're starting with this and learning a lot, and we'll learn a lot. So the mowing was done, and it was hard for him to survey, but he managed to do that. He also managed to get a list of plants, and that's in the appendix. So it wasn't that harmful. The property in the first place was really not a definable habitat. It had been, man had played around with this area for many, many years, and it invites a consideration to restore it to what it wants to be. So in section 3, this is part of the field observations. The majority of the study area, excluding the northwestern edge, was found to be one large emergent shrub wetland. So that again is shown on the map. The green area, or the intact map, just about encompasses the entire area. It's dominated by a reed canary grass and shrub species like winterberry, meadowsweet, red osier dogwood. It also is noted on the property there were 3 vernal pools. He called them potential vernal pools because further study is warranted, because we need a timeline, a slice of time study and monitoring in order to determine that. His recommendation that we do watch this in the spring and watch to see how long the wetlands, the pools remain wet, and are they filled, and so that's something that's a real takeaway. But we're not sure at this point whether this would hold enough water for a duration long enough to support obligate vernal pool species. It should be checked during the spring vernal pool season to confirm their hydro period and species use. The property is at a lower elevation than both the southern and eastern neighboring properties and receives stormwater runoff from the Derry Fire Station parking lot. Additionally, there was one pipe identified near the potential vernal pool 3, which is at the southeastern corner of this property. So in section 3.2, he did stress that anthropogenically modified areas, as this property is, don't really fit into a category of plant communities that are identified. The emergent part of the wetland, DW1, resembles and effectively functions as a reed canary grass variant. The recent cleared uplands on the site do not closely resemble any upland plant community that occurs in the state. In section 3.3, there was a discussion of the soils. While the soil maps on the desktop would point out to a particular fine sandy loam woodbury classification, that classification doesn't really hold out true to our property here, because indeed the property has soils that are hydric and poorly to very poorly drained. So these hydric soils are not going to grow, vegetables, as we were at first when we first looked at this property. Oh, it would be a nice garden. It's not going to grow them. The soils are, anaerobic and flooded for much of the season. And we should now recognize that this is a wetland, and we want to protect our wetlands. Right. So I'm all on board with that, and I think that we can bring this to a place where we can create a place for the wildlife, determine the vernal pool status, and his suggestions are on section 4. Given that the top line, given that the property was recently disturbed, the full potential for use by wildlife could not be assessed. But there were species that were observed that were the normal species that would be seen in the Broadview area that's to the north. He saw evidence of, songbirds, cottontail and deer, and invertebrates, butterflies and moths, and again, we want to know what the hydro period is in the potential vernal pools, see what we can see for breeding area for amphibians. But Indeed, much of the use of the study area is limited by overwhelming extent of the wetland. And you can see on the map, it really is, the west side has the most emergent upland growth, where there was observed milkweed and other plants, so that, could be encouraged to, provide breeding. There, to the north, the Broadview has a lot of this type of field, basically. So most of the actions that would result in changes to the wetlands located on site would require a permit from the New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services, and these include enhancement of the wetlands on site, creation of a walking path. Now, as that goes, Rick handed me a book on wetlands best management practices that was created by the EPA and the New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services, and basically it's a project, after a general discussion on wetlands, it was a project-oriented section by section, where you want to build a bridge, you want to build some boardwalks, what do you, if you're approaching wetlands. So we would be focused on the building, the recommendation is to build boardwalk or a non-permeable path through this area, should it be, when it becomes suitable after, initial workup of what our plan should be. The largest contiguous area of upland on the property is at the northern boundary, but access to this area is through delineated wetland. So the use of the property for waste or yard waste is therefore not recommended, and other locations for this use should be explored. It's also noted, he also noted that the PVP2, the pile of leaves is right over on top of that. So that, I'll show later, should be addressed sooner than later. So the summary of the sections. Wildlife use is unknown because of the disturbance of the recent mowing. The holding is a bowl-shaped, surrounded by stone walls, and the elevations of the surrounding lands are higher, so drainage is coming from the south and east, but less from the west and north. There is a buffer property to the south and the Derry Fire Station to the southeast. There is concern of contamination from this Derry Fire Station. There is a drainage pipe that needs to be investigated for impact and any need for mitigation. So my summary of the continues. The 3 vernal pools may host amphibians or reptile breeding, but the hydro period is unknown and would require field work in the spring. The use of this property is limited by the overwhelming amount of wetland. Any changes to the wetland would require permits, which may be a minimal effort. These include enhancement of the wetlands on site and creation of a walking path. And I would also probably add attention to wildlife restoration, and also restoring these wetlands to a diversity of plantings. Now we could get into native species and the actually planting in there to increase the biodiversity. I think it's a really strong point that, so I would probably add that to my recommendations at that point. These activities could be done in conjunction and provide an educational opportunity for the town's citizens with informational signs and displays along the path. Again, that was a recommendation by the field engineer. These activities, it was interesting that my education in 2025 led up to a deeper understanding of wetlands than I had when I started here. The pursuit of what to do with this property really is a developing story in itself that could be told for a matter of education for the commission and for the citizens of Derry. And also the access to the property should be with limited access via paths using pervious materials and, if required, boardwalks. There may be a point in time where we would have to say, after we've studied this a little bit, that we wouldn't want people coming onto the land until after the vernal period had gone by. I'm not sure about that. In addition to educational opportunity, restoration of the wetland to an eventually forested site may provide credit under the town's MS4 plan. So this is actually a restoration to forested land. Now, I don't know right now. I need further education about what that would be if I got to question the engineer that did this work. That would be one question I would want to know. But we could probably find other resources to answer that with further research. So finding a location for the town to dump leaves is also a priority, and moving this location out of the PVP2 area is recommended. It's a dilemma that you can't access that area without going over wetlands themselves. But we should definitely should be lifted up out of that potential vernal pool. And that's something to put our heads together to figure out. But it is, a more urgent issue to do. So I'll say that man as a disruptor of the original plant and wildlife community over many, many years, and also it would be really interesting to know the heritage of this property. What was it like, back in the 1800s or wherever the farm was started? Was it a wetland, or when they put the stone walls all across it, did it create like a bathtub? It'd be interesting to know what it was like in the past, so we could at least have the goal of trying to restore it to what it once was. So suggested actions and next steps: immediately create a subcommittee or designate it to a subcommittee that exists for further study, research, and planning of this holding. Instruct the DPW to stop putting the fall leaves in the south end of the property and not to mow the plants down anymore. Seek other ways to take the leaves. Perhaps a large compost pile bin that we have at our community garden site, which are lying empty, could be utilized partially. I'm not sure what the leaf pile looks like after 2 seasons of dumping. And again, move the leaves out of the PVP2 area. And I would like to talk to the engineer with questions from this report, just for some clarification. I'm not sure how that goes. I did ask Beth. I'm not sure what she got for an answer. And more in short term for this season, again, monitoring the pools. What does it mean to restore a wetland to a forest? How to add native plants, and what plants are they? Get help with a plan that can pass any permit process. This report now changes the community garden planning, as this site does not look like it would host a traditional community garden, raised beds or otherwise. So the community garden subcommittee will need to meet and come up with plans for the 2026 season going forward, which we do have coming up. We're trying to make the meeting time tonight. Suggest to consider that the leaves from the cemetery pile be used within the community garden plots to add fertility after being composted in large bins that are available. Request the Heritage Commission to research the history of this property. Long-term plans, there could be part of my education in the spring was to attend a workshop from a woman whose name is Lauren Chase Rowell, and her specialty over the years has been permaculture, but also wild native species and wetland restoration that she does on her own property, which she invites anyone to come up to Nottingham anytime to see the work that she's done. Now, Ethan Tapper was the keynote speaker at our NHACC meeting conference in October, and he also had a great book called, he was the author of How to Love a Forest, and basically he took a forest that he bought in Vermont that had been used in many ways away from the concept of the virgin forest to being cut down, logged, agriculture, community open property to play baseball in the early 1900s. And he is going through it in his book how his thoughts are on trying, what is this land that he's looks at, what does it want to be? What does it want to grow into? How can it be restored as much as possible to what it originally was? And that's the concept that he talks about. And that's it.
Thanks, Jay. So as far as the leaves, we'll jump on that right away. Beth and I will talk to DPW and we'll find an alternative spot either on the property or somewhere else for the property.
Yeah.
We'll get on that right away. As far as what we're going to do with this property, I encourage you, Jay, to continue on your quest. Did you speak with the engineer about questions from Jay? All right. Yeah, so why don't you reach out, say one of the commissioners wants to talk to you more about it. I like the idea of the paths and maybe some signage and stuff like that about what is a wetland and explaining species and plants. Before we do anything, you're going to continue your research. I would also encourage you to talk to the Heritage Commission and go ahead and hit that action item. Let's get those two things done. And then we're going to need to think about, as a commission, how much we want to spend resource-wise on this project, if anything. And I think we'll be able to have a better idea after Jay continues his research on that. I do want to put this to bed because it's 5 minutes of 8. We still have some agenda. Councilor Foote, do we have to ask for an extension after 8 o'clock? Is that the rule? How's that work?
10.
Oh, okay, so we're good. So you're gonna continue your pursuit on this?
Yeah, yes, I will.
And why don't we have a tentative update on our first meeting in April?
Okay.
Okay? First meeting in April, we can get a follow-up from Jay on this. And find out what that MS4 plan is, Jay. I'm curious about that myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, MS4.
All right, moving along, we're going to go into committee reports. Before we do, we have a new committee and officer assignments sheet that Beth is going to distribute for us. But real quickly, personnel is chaired by Mr. Metz, and I am the one and only member with Mr. Metz. TRC is chaired by myself. Mr. Metz is my member, 2 people on that committee. Land Acquisition, Mr. Metz is the chair. I am the other member. State Compliance, Eileen is the chair, Valerie is the member, and Christopher Morlock is the second member. Public Outreach, Cheryl Holbert is the chair, Eileen is the member, and Linda is the newest member to that subcommittee. Linda, did you know about that?
I did, yes.
Okay, good. We volunteer you when you're not around.
No problem.
Community Gardens, Jay is the chair, Valerie is the member, Pam is also a member, and we
We
have
have a change to that, sorry. So Val has actually switched from the Community Garden Subcommittee to the Land Maintenance Subcommittee.
okay.
And Linda is going to be joining the Gardening Subcommittee.
All right, so then now we have Jay as the chair and Pamela as the member and Karen Harrison Bennett as the volunteer?
She is a volunteer, yes, and Linda is also on that.
Oh, so Linda's on that? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to stick her in there, and you're going to update this, right?
Yes.
Okay, Land Maintenance is Bob as chair, Pamela as member, and Linda as member?
And now Val as member. Val's switching from, she used to be on the Community Garden Committee, and she's leaving that committee to join the Land Maintenance
And
Committee.
who's coming out?
Who's coming out of?
You have Spurl, Piero, and Comrie already. You got-
So Linda will not be on the Land Maintenance Committee.
Okay, so it's
She'll
gonna be
She'll be on the
Spurl.
Community Garden instead.
Got it. So Spurl, Piero, and
Valerie.
Val, right?
Val.
Val. Yes, got it. Okay, reporting compliance, Val is the chair, Cheryl is the member, and Chris is the second member. Property management, I am the chair, Jay is the member, and Chris is the other member. And as far as officers, I remain chair until in two meetings, we're going to have elections. Mr. Metz is vice chair, Eileen is the treasurer, and Jay is the secretary. And we're going to get an updated sheet from Beth on that. Okay, first committee report is Jay for Community Gardens.
Yes, again, we're going to determine tonight the time to have a Zoom call with the members of the Community Garden Subcommittee to discuss the upcoming 2026 season. I had done some work getting soil samples, which actually I'd like to submit the expenses for that, as we discussed before. I have the receipts.
So we should vote on that so that we can
You have
pay
a total
it,
there?
so that I can I
$40,
can tell her
Jay, or
that
is there
we
more?
voted on it.
There was $40 plus $14.40 for the shipping.
So, Mr. Metz, you want to make a motion to that?
Move to approve the amount of $54.14 for soil samples and shipping,
To be taken out of the administrative account.
to be taken out of the administrative account.
There's a first on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Val. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion carries. Anything else, Jay?
Yeah, we will talk within our subcommittee about the results. There's nothing earth-shattering, however, it's good to know that there was no lead which was tested in the soil. And yeah, we'll use this information to in our subcommittee to, and anyone who wants a copy of this, if I haven't sent it out, perhaps I can try to send this out to everybody in the commission. So I'll do that.
Thanks, Jay. Mr. Metz, any report?
Nothing to report, but as a side note, I'd like to note that Tammy is now all ours, since she retired from the school board recording secretary, so she got her gold watch and a big send-off, so.
Golden parachute, all that.
Yeah. That's it as far as personnel.
Congratulations, Tammy. Public outreach, Cheryl.
Hi, so first I just want to really thank Beth, because Beth's been posting some wonderful things on Facebook that is kind of showing the public a little more about what we do. It's a little more diversified. I do now have access to the Facebook page, which is very helpful. And one of the things we wanted to get going with that right away was to at least have a couple of photos of when we're all meeting, so we can notify the public when we are meeting. If anyone has any ideas of what that looks like, we could go two ways. We could say, inform the public after we have met, if you feel there's anything appropriate to, to just to have a little caption about, or before. I would
think
say
both. I think you should announce the meeting and then
announce it before,
and then
the
talk
meeting.
about what we talked about at the meeting after.
Right.
Yeah, I think both.
Okay, everyone good with that? Okay, great. And then as I see, that we're still in winter and welcoming Linda to work with me, that it'd be nice to to just meet again. We kind of met and got some conversation going, and then I end up going on this long business trip and all of that. But to come back and do a little bit of vision casting that we can really implement now, because now that I have access, that's something that can happen. And also, I wanted to meet separately with Beth about, how we can make best use of what we both see as adding to it. Getting maybe like a calendar, as we had mentioned. Mm-hmm. And I think that's about it.
Great. Cheryl, could the whole committee get together and maybe take photos of trailheads and just post the photo of the trailhead saying this is the conservation property located at maybe the two cross streets, just a quick, nothing, and that would take up some space on the, I'm sure that most people don't even know they exist. So trailhead, maybe a brief description of what it is and where it is, and if you can get one of those up maybe once a week, that'd be great. Yeah.
And we're still sending those to either Beth or Cheryl in terms of quality of relationship?
Yes, you can email them to me, the photo with a little just description of what you've taken a picture of. That'd probably be the easiest because everyone is connected through email. Yeah. I mean, you could certainly send it through Facebook or something, but I think email, since if we're all doing it consistently, I know it's coming through that one source, I can create a label for it, and then, just take it from there.
So just send it to you? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you have a trailhead near your house, take a picture, send it to Sharon.
Send it to me, and as they come in, I'll just post them as they come in.
Yeah, put them right in. It'd be nice to have winter and summer and spring and how the trailheads
I have some
look differently.
nice pictures of Gulf Road that I can, especially in season,
Mm-hmm.
with lady slippers and, nice stuff.
Oh, that'd be great.
Awesome.
Yeah, I can send that.
I will say some of the trailheads are not very photo worthy at the moment.
No, not at the moment. But
Yes,
we have,
but I
like
think
he
that,
said, seasonal ones we have.
right.
Crop.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that is something that we've had on our radar as far as future projects of cleaning up some of the trailheads and stuff too, and that feels like it falls under public outreach. I guess a cross between public outreach and land maintenance, maybe.
Maybe a joint.
Now we have before and after photos.
Maybe,
Right. Yes. Very good.
Or
Yeah.
maybe solicit some help, saying here,
Yeah.
our trailhead at this conservation property
Yes.
needs some attention. Any volunteers would like to join us? TRC, Mr. Metz.
Nothing to report as far as that goes. I'll probably be picking up as we get close to the spring, whenever that will be.
Eileen, state compliance.
Okay, on state compliance, I just wanted to let everybody know a workshop has been pulled together that's going to be you have to use Microsoft Teams to register for it, but February 18th, there's a really good workshop that not only would benefit members of this commission because it involves planning for floods and wetlands, that might be affected by floods. It's February 18th, and if you're interested, I can send you the link to it so that you could register. But it would be online, not, you're not going anywhere. You're just doing this from home on your computer. But it might be worthwhile. There's going to be 3 featured speakers, and they're going to go over this new database they have of really great flooding data for the state of New Hampshire, and our individual community is included in that. So we would be able to, learn how to use that database to get Derry's information and use it to our advantage for protecting our wetlands. So,
Eileen, could you forward that link, or do
Yeah,
you know
me
what
as
time
well.
it is too, off the top of your head?
It's during the day, though. That's the only maybe drawback for some people that work. I believe it's 10 to noon on February 18th, if I remember
It's a Wednesday,
correctly.
is it? I would be interested. I could make that work with
But
my
yeah,
schedule.
okay, so if you
Yeah, I'd
can
be
tell me
interested.
now if you're interested, I'll
Yes, I would
send
be
you the link.
interested.
Okay.
Yeah.
Eileen, when you reach out to send the link to everybody, you might ask if they're planning on recording it, because a lot of times with these like online webinars, they do plan to record them,
Yep,
so.
yep,
You can view
yep,
it
I'll
somewhere
ask
else.
about that. Okay.
Anything else, Eileen?
No, that's all I had for that.
Property management, myself, we're working with a property owner, abutting conservation property with some hazardous trees. Beth is going to be compiling some estimates on dealing with those trees, and we're going to try to use a Derry-based business, as we agreed to do kind of early in my tenure, that we're going to try to always hire. We're going to always give preference to businesses that are located in Derry as opposed to located in other towns. So we're going to be getting those estimates and probably be coming before us for a vote at the next meeting. Land maintenance is Commissioner Spurl, who's not here. Land acquisition, again, is me. We're going to be scoring a property at our next meeting, so we'll have a non-public at our next meeting about a property that we're considering. And Beth, could you work with Jay and Tammy to make sure that everyone has a scoring sheet maybe sent to them with the minutes and the agenda? So we'll be scoring a property at the next meeting.
Are we able to review? Are we going to be able to review the property before our non-public? Can those be some resources sent over as well? I have a copy of my scoring sheet. Or would you prefer that to be a non-public?
Yeah, I think
Like
it has-
all in all,
I
like-
think it all has to happen in non-public. Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. We've talked about this property already.
Okay, that's what I was
In-
wondering.
In
Okay.
non-public, yeah.
Is it the one that Jay shared with us?
Yeah, just, yeah. Right.
That one.
Yeah, we just can't talk about the details of it. So
Right,
that's
right.
one that we looked at.
I'm willing to give a quick review before that scoring, just,
Yeah, we're going to talk about it before we score it, yeah.
Thank you.
Reporting compliance, Val.
Nothing too new to add to. It did let slip toward the beginning of this year that there was a property that was missed. The Gunther Nelson property needed to be reported. I was planning to do it toward the end of last week, the same week that I had gotten the email. And then we got 2 feet of snow. So, and also I am awaiting contact information for the current owner, Miss Dorothy.
Okay, good. And you got those two things for two file
I
things?
did, and I have questions. I can talk to you about it after the fact,
Yeah,
because
let's
it
do
also
that.
involves the Gunther Nelson thing having arisen. But I'm working on a schedule for the current year, and I'll add on to that after.
All
with
right,
you.
thank you. It's still you've, Net
Oh,
Zero.
Net Zero Task Force, nothing new to add in terms of content. Last I spoke, we were awaiting a presentation. We'd had a presentation in terms of getting a third party to help negotiate residents' electric bill costs. We are still awaiting another presentation. It's kind of a co-op situation. I do have a project that I took on from that. Was working with Michelle with the school. However, it's been a minute, but we're working on differentiating the codes from 2018 to 2024 for the International Energy or Efficiency. Yeah, I'm still new with all the acronyms and stuff, but basically building codes to make that building more energy efficient. Because there are quite a few differences, and the town is currently operating at the 2018 codes. So those are the requirements, working on differentiating them, so that way at least if the town doesn't require them, residents can still be aware what they may be and the cost savings that they may have with that. But yeah, all in the works. Thank you.
Okay, so can I get a motion for a 5-minute recess before we go into land manager report?
So moved.
Motion on the floor for a 5-minute recess. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by everybody. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. All right, we're back in session, and our next...
Real quick, sorry, I just wanted to make a correction to my statement. I had misspoken.
Sure.
It was not the Gunther Nelson property, it was the Martin property.
Martin property.
Sorry,
Got it.
thank you.
So noted.
Hannah Martin property, yeah.
The Dorothy?
Hannah Martin, no, Dorothy is Dorothy Gunther Nelson, but the Martin property would be Hannah Martin.
yeah.
It's the one across from Corneliuson.
Yeah.
It's across from what?
Corneliuson.
Oh, that's not across from Cornelius.
It's non-pub, it has a few, it's a.
The
it's a-
Martin property's on Cemetery Road.
No, I think there's a Martin property over
It's on Lane Road.
There's a non-public access portion. I saw my email, it was Martin from the one that you had forwarded.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not across from Cornelison, no, I don't think. The Martin property's not.
Yeah, no, the Martin property is, you're talking about the one that's the cornfield next to the barn? Yeah, that's a Martin property also. It
Yeah.
is. It's on Old Auburn Road, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's Martin.
but yeah, so I earlier said the wrong name, that is the correct name.
Yeah, that's
Martin.
it, that's Martin. I've done the monitoring there before.
It's a big property.
Yeah,
I
huge,
wasn't able to do
both
it.
sides of the street.
Yeah.
Okay, getting back to it, we are on the land manager report. Beth, you're on.
Yeah, so the CWPP core team met again. We had a great meeting, super productive, and we have another couple of meetings scheduled to continue to put the community wildfire protection plan together. And I discovered a box. This is another subject. I discovered a box of T-shirts. Just like this.
Oh, yeah.
This
We
I
always
got
would
10
give
years
those
ago.
out.
But anyway, and Val's got one. So if anybody would like a t-shirt, just let me know what you need and I can bring it to the next meeting and you can all have a t-shirt. And I wanted to put just a kind of a public call out to anybody at home who's watching. That we have some good stewards doing some work on our conservation properties. We don't know who you are, and so we would like to just get in touch with you and just know who's doing maintenance on our properties and bring you into the fold. So reach out to landmanager@derrynh.org if you're doing any work on conservation land, please. Thank you. And that's all I got.
Where have you ever seen signs of people doing?
Cole Marsh, Corneliuson before we did that work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Beth's report is not conducive of the amount of work that Beth is doing. Beth and I share a phone call every Thursday, Wednesday, every Thursday at 11 o'clock, and she has a list, I have a list, we share our lists, and usually by the following Thursday, my list is completed. So although her report may be brief, the amount of work that she's getting done is pretty astounding. So thank you, Beth. Welcome back, Mr. Foote.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Real quickly, tomorrow night we have a town council meeting, and we will be discussing some, as you did last meeting, you came and presented about the board and the committees. So tomorrow night we'll be hearing from Heritage Commission, Planning Board, Zoning Board, and Highway Safety. So if anyone's interested, tune into that. We'll also be having a presentation from the CFO and CBIZ, which is our auditor, and they'll go over the fiscal year 25 audit and the 26 second quarter financials. And we will also hear from the town clerk about the town elections coming up March 10th. So that's school and town elections. So please make sure you come out to vote March 10th. And then we will have public hearings on Margie Ives' property, which you talked about earlier in the meeting. We will take a vote tomorrow night on that. And we'll also be discussing and have a public hearing on the hazardous mitigation plan. And that will be presented by the fire chief. And what else I have here? A couple of FYIs. The month of February is Derry Restaurant Month. There's a flyer here if anyone's interested in it. But essentially you go to the restaurants in Derry and you take your receipt and you enter it to economic development at derrynh.gov, and you could be put in for raffles for gift cards and merchandise. Any questions, reach out to Economic Development here in Town Hall, and that number is 845-5407, or you can go online, click the link, and get the email. Also, Frost Fest, that will be February 7th, and that will be kids' activities, crafts, games, from noon to 3 downtown, puppet shows, there'll be wildlife encounters, there'll be free movie and popcorn. The movie is Disney's Elio, that how you pronounce it?
Elio.
Elio, okay. That'll be at 3:15 start. And don't forget the Derry Museum of History. And this will take place at Veterans Hall, 31 West Broadway.
And that's this Saturday.
Yes, February 7th.
Times, Charlie?
Noon. Noon to when it's over. 4-ish, 5-ish. And lastly, there'll be a celebration of life for Farmer Phil Wednesday, February 4th at Birchwood Vineyards, 199 Rockingham Road. Guests are encouraged to carpool. We expect a large participation to that. Parking is limited there. The reception will be from 11 to 2, so 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., or 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. In lieu of flowers, donations may be made to the New Hampshire Farm Bureau.
What's the date on that again?
February 4th,
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Birchwood Vineyards, 199 Rockingham Road, 11 to 2 and 4 to 8. And donations may be made to New Hampshire Farm Bureau. And that's all I have.
Did we, I know that we had that leads me to believe, we had a moment of silence at the council meeting for, did we have one here? I don't think we did.
No, we didn't.
We'll close the meeting with one, because Farmer Phil was important to me and important to this commission. Okay, thank you, Charlie. Next, we have update on conservation activities. Nothing happening in the winter, but I encourage people to get out and use the conservation properties in Derry. There's a lot of them. A lot of snow out there, great for snowshoeing, cross-country skiing, all that stuff. So, also there's
Sorry. With that, your encouragement, I'm sorry, I was really excited. I didn't mean to
Yeah,
interrupt
go
you like
ahead.
that. I am taking a winter wildlife educators workshop. I'm taking a day off of work, and it's basically to encourage people to come outside and how there's a lot to learn still in the winter time on these properties. So I am taking that to help encourage and bring more things forward.
Yeah, do it. It's nice, it's peaceful. So snowshoeing, there's snowmobiling allowed on some of our conservation properties, so get out and enjoy like today, I was out all day today out on Beaver Lake. It was beautiful. It was one of the nicest days I remember in the wintertime, really beautiful day today. So get out and use those properties.
Take pictures. Send them to me.
Yeah, take pictures. Yeah, you know what? That's a good idea. Right? You know, when people, I'm glad you said that. So when people are out using our conservation properties, anybody that's watching or knows people are watching, if you're out on our conservation properties, please take photos and send them into land manager at, what's the link on the town website? Is it your it might be actually my email. It's probably my email.
Well, it depends on what you're looking for, but I think like the community garden, if you're reaching out for a community garden, it'll ask you to email landmanager@derrynh.gov.
So if you just go on the Conservation Commission website, I'm almost sure that my email is the link, which is conservation@Derry, I think it's that one. Yeah, so email them to me and I'll make sure they get to who they need to get to. So if you're using our properties, your properties, the town's properties, send me photos and I'll get them put up to our social media account. Other business, Eileen, your term is up, and I hope Beth told you to, if you're going to continue with us, please put your form in with Sheila.
Right, is there
prior
a
to the
deadline
March.
for getting it into Sheila?
You guys vote on it in March, right?
In March, yeah, before the first meeting in
So-
March.
Okay,
Yeah,
all
so,
right.
so within the next couple of weeks. And the only other person that's up, there's two other people, myself, that I've already submitted my application to renew, and our alternate, Mr. Hayden, is up. And I know that Beth has reached out to him, so we'll see if, we have no open seats right now, right? None?
Correct.
Yeah, we have no open seats, so we'll see what Mr. Hayden does, and if he doesn't re-up, then we'll have one open seat as an alternate. One of the changes in our new SOP for the agenda is we're going to put our next meeting date on the agenda, and I'm thinking we might want to put the next 2 meetings. Why don't we do that?
Sure.
Yeah, let's do that. So we know we're meeting March 2nd and March 16th, right?
Yep.
So that's going to be on our agenda from now on, so people can, so we can plan while we're in the meeting, and so people can plan accordingly after the meeting. So our next meeting's the 2nd and the 16th, and those are going to be both pretty busy meetings. As far as a non-public, we are not going to have one tonight, but we will definitely have one on the 2nd to score that property we talked about. And then is there anything else from the commissioners before we entertain a moment? Okay, so we have Mr. Metz and Mr. Foote. Let's start with Mr. Metz.
On another sad note, a lot of people, I don't know at this meeting, but Craig Bulkley, who was a longtime Derry resident, Rotarian, town councilor, town manager, passed away on Friday night.
Oh, he did?
Extend your sympathies to his family if you know them. No indication of any services yet, but we'll let people know. Yeah, Friday.
Sorry to hear that. Craig's a dynamite guy. I had the pleasure of serving with him on the budget committee for the school department for probably about 8 or 10 years. A really dynamite person.
He was very active in town.
Yeah. Mr. Foote.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And to that note, we will acknowledge him tomorrow as we will give a little synopsis of his contributions to town. He was the first town manager we had after the changeover. So
The mayor fiasco.
yeah, he was the first town manager. But I forgot to mention, April 30th, dog licenses expire. So if you have a dog, you want to be legal, register your dog. You have plenty of time between now and April 30th before the town clerk and the dog officer come knocking on your door. So
You don't want Tina coming
it's a lot
after.
cheaper to do it now than it is to wait till after that. So April 30th expires. That's all. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Anything else from the commission? Beth?
Yeah, just another reminder to any commissioners like that, the training, the thing that you're going to, Val, that you mentioned. I'm happy to post like resources like that on our website anytime there's, fun stuff like that going on that you want to share with the public. Just a reminder about that.
When I signed up, there were 2 spots left.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. But still a good reminder. Yeah.
And Eileen, why don't you just send that link for that meeting on the 18th?
Yes, I'll send
Just send it
that.
to
When Eileen mentioned
And
as
I
well.
just,
Just send
while
it to
you're mentioning
everybody.
that, Beth, there's another thing I want to mention, but I think it's going to fill up really, really fast. But I will send the link. I know I'm going to sign up. My husband's going to sign up. Even if you're an advanced birder, the name of the course is Introduction to Bird Identification. It's being taught by Matt Tarr. He's a professor at UNH. He's very conversant and has been out to our Broadview property numerous times and spoke about what wonderful wildlife diversity we have on our Broadview farm property. He's so excited about it. In fact, he's included Broadview Farm as one of the field trips that will be included in that course. So there'll be a bunch of people coming to Broadview Farm for that course. Anyway, I can send you that link, Beth.
Yeah.
But if you're interested at all in signing up, you have to get on it like immediately, first thing on February 3rd. That's when it's going to open, and it's probably going to close pretty quick because a lot of people have already expressed interest in it. So, and it's limited to a certain number of people, so that it will be a good course. It allows you, just to give you a little overview, it allows you to do some of the course material on your own, on your computer. It'll be disseminated to you, and you'll have plenty of time, on your own schedule to do the lessons that are in it. And then there'll be a field component, and you're given a list in advance of different field trip opportunities throughout the state too, not just Broadview Farm, but there's many, many, many up and down the state and sideways that you can choose from. And you're allowed, I forget now whether it's like 8 or 10 to pick, that you ultimately want to submit. And the catch-all, though, is that You want to choose which field trip opportunities you're really going to commit to, because I think there was like either a $10 or $15 charge that will be levied against you if you don't show up to those that you committed to. So you really want to really be sure that your dates are open on your calendar for attending those field trips before you sign up for that. And the course itself costs $75 a person, but it's very, very worthwhile, like I said, even for advanced birders. I consider myself one of those advanced birders, but I know there's still stuff to learn, and that's why I'm really excited about it, and my husband and I are going to definitely be signing up, so I wanted to mention that.
Thank you. Some thanks.
Anything else from the commission?
No, sir.
So I want to have a moment of silence for Farmer Phil Ferdinando, and Craig Bulkley. We'll incorporate the two of them. They're two giants in our community. This is the first I've heard about Craig. It shook me up a little bit. He's a great guy. So a moment of silence for them, please. Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Metz, second by Eileen. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?